And there's certainly no denying the substance of these talks despite the absence of a structure to dictate their outcomes. But the optics cannot be too far away either. The Indian Prime Minister has embraced many a world leader in the 4 years he spent in office. The last time Prime Minister Modi met the Chinese leader was during the BRICS summit last year. They only shared a handshake back then, firm as it was. Will the thaw in India-China ties begin with a hug?
When Narendra Modi says he welcomes you with open arms, he means it. Since he took over in 2014, several world leaders have been recipients of the famous Modi hug. Like in February this year, Prime Minister Narendra Modi welcomed his Canadian counterpart Justin Trudeau with a bear hug. In June last year, Modi caught US President Donald Trump off guard after he reciprocated to a handshake with a warm hug after a news conference in America. Of course, this was not the first time. The Indian Prime Minister has embraced an American president. Barack Obama was treated to hugs on all occasions when the two leaders met. Modi continued his tradition of hugging world leaders when he met the newly elected French President Emmanuel Macron in Paris. The hugs also landed a little awkwardly sometimes, like in 2016 when Modi had this clumsy embrace with the then French President François Hollande. The Indian Prime Minister has never shied away from hugging his counterparts, like at the G20 summit in June 2017, when he embraced Russian President Vladimir Putin. And then the Australian Prime Minister Tony Abbott. Now contrast that with this. Modi's signature move was missing. A firm handshake replaced his warm hug at the BRICS summit in Hamburg in 2017. At the other end was the Chinese President Xi Jinping. The two leaders shook hands and greeted each other as relations between India and China were tense given the Doklam standoff. A year later, Narendra Modi is meeting Xi Jinping again. And there is the big speculation if the thaw in ties will begin with a hug rather than a formal handshake. We think maybe not. And the reason is more cultural than diplomatic. It is believed that the Chinese may be uncomfortable about physical contact with people they are not too familiar with. Narendra Modi's signature hugs hit the headlines every time he meets a world leader. But will his penchant for hugs be encouraged this time around? Bureau Report, WION.